He's a tactical genius, he's the one to see on VP4TV. He's wild and he's free. Eyeball top number here to you and me. With his cunning moves, he's rocking endlessly. Tables and cues, they bend to his will. Every shot he takes gives everyone a thrill. With a glance and aim, he works to the skill. In the ball, lights from the chill. Tables and cues, they bend to his will. Every shot he takes gives everyone a thrill. With a glance and aim, he works to the skill. In the ball, lights from the chill. Tactical genius with every play, making magic happen every single day. In the world of billiards, he knows the way, taking every shot with prayers we say. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. From the corner bank to the perfect cut, he wins the game without a single strut. Chalk it up, just a fortune or luck. But skill like his, it never gets stuck. On VP4TV, he's the showstopper. 9ball.com's the king, no one can top her. Watch him play and you'll be a hopper. He's the man, we all shout proper. Magic happen every single day. In the world of billiards, he knows the way, taking every shot with prayers we say. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. Rack him up, he steps to the ground. Crowds gather round without a sound. With a twisted stroke, his fame is profound. Every victory makes our hearts pound. To the perfect cup, he wins the game without a single strut. Chalk it up, just a fortune or luck, but skill like his, it never gets stuck. On VP4TV, he's the showstopper. Eyeball.com comes the king, no one can top her. Watch him play and you'll be a hopper. Houston man, we all shout proper. VP4TV.
Where's the cue ball going?
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.
Right, good evening. Welcome back to VP4TV. No, I wasn't talking, thinking I was muted or anything like that. I just decided to see whether I was going to get any response from anybody, and obviously, no, I didn't. Somebody usually telling me that I'm muted. But we're here for this round 3 match tonight. We'll get to that in a second, but we had a match earlier on this afternoon in the 2025 Virtual Straight Pool World Championship. It was a one-loss side match, and it was between Linus and Viking, and Linus won that 150 to 83, I think it was. So that's the only match that's happened today. As we've seen, Miasma got advanced because Woody didn't show up on the one-loss side either. Looking at the schedule, we have this match tonight between Cobra and Tommyy, and that goes at the bottom of the hour, another 8 minutes time. And then we have Larry against Laser on the one-loss side, and that's at 10 p.m. tonight. Now, I would assume if Slim's going to be around, he may well be intending to cover that match. He's got his own match on the one-loss side, which he probably might end up getting a bye in it, between himself and Miskin, which is set for Sunday at 7 p.m. So I wouldn't hold a great deal out that Miskin is going to show up. He decided he didn't want to play Cobra, so he might decide he doesn't want to play Slim either. Maybe he's had enough of the tournament. On the one-loss side, also we have Brainfill out against Interchange X. That's scheduled for Sunday evening, and that's at 9:30 p.m. my time, far too late. So again, hopefully Slim can cover that. And then the other match I'm intended to do out of these matches is Albinario against MC_Clarkey, and that's due to go ahead on Tuesday, which is the start of my days off next week, and it's April Fool's Day. So I wonder who the fool. I'll say that again. I wonder who the fool will be in that match. It's 7:30, and that will be British summertime because our clocks go forward on the early hours of Sunday morning. So that covers the matches that are on the schedule. The schedule will thin out, of course, as we lose players to the one-loss side, and we also lose players from the one-loss side. The schedule will thin out a bit. Right. Friday night 9-ball, let's have a quick look. There's maybe a few in that tonight, and then again, maybe not. There's still 10 empty seats, so there's only 6 people in. Coldest Pillows just signed up. LS3, Miasma, Miskin, oh, he's there. One Pocket Slim, Inspector Don. No doubt if Larry's around, he'll be in a little while as well. But again, it looks as if it might be short of a full house, so they've got another 35 minutes to get a few more people in. I'm sure there will be, but we'll keep it on the tournament schedule just in case something gets updated. Highly unlikely. So that's us all ready. Steve said he's going to be here. Just let me a quick look. At least I thought he said. Maybe my memory's bad, but I thought he said he was going to be here. Quick tab out and he isn't there. Unless something has cropped up. I thought he said he might be here. Maybe I picked him up wrong, but I'll have another look in a second or two. So as you can see on the screen, we have Cobra's highest run in straight pool and virtual pool 4. That is 197. And Tommyy, his highest run is 94. Now that tells me that Tommyy is well capable of causing an upset here tonight. Now, there's a couple of things need to happen for that to happen. Cobra needs to be making mistakes, but above all, Tommyy needs to be pouncing on those mistakes and making hay while the sun shines. If he does that, he can beat Cobra. Simple as that. And he's got to score. Whatever amount of contributions he gets to make, he needs to score from them. You know, if you're just putting 10 and 12 together, that's not going to get you very far. So we'll see what happens, but I wouldn't put all my money on Cobra. I think Tommyy, on the day, could well cause an upset here. So we'll see what happens. So good evening. We have, 7 viewers. Nobody's saying anything. I'll have a quick tab again. And again, no sign of Steve. Maybe I did pick him up wrong, but anyway, he'll show up, no doubt, when I'm in the room, and we'll get all set with another 3 minutes to go.
He's a tactical genius, he's the one to see on VP4TV. He's wild and he's free.
Right, well, I've tabbed out and I'm looking in Discord. Still no sign of Steve. We are just at the bottom of the hour, so if he shows up, he'll show up in the room. and we can bring him in then. This room is about to go up. And Tommy arrived about 10 minutes ago or so, and I think, well, I think he was in getting warmed up. Cobra's in, but I don't see Tommy. Oh, there he is. Yes, he is there. So let's get in the room. The two of them will be lagging off right now. Probably missed the lag. No, we're just on it. Tommy on the right-hand side. Cobra on the left. And of course, a race to 200, and Tommy's won the lag and put Cobra in. So let's see how Cobra's worked on his brake. He's trying to spin into the back of the pack. And he's done it pretty well. Managed to avoid the collision with the one ball on its way back up the table there. And Tommy's left with nothing. Well, he's got to cover that one ball. And then the question is whether Cobra's going to take the cut in the 5 ball, if that's what he's going to be left. Well, it's not so much a cut, but that 13 ball looks on a line to that side pocket, but it's very touchy, probably going to the point. Welcome to Mark. Nobody's speaking. You're the only person that's speaking, Mark. Right, I'm going to do one quick tab while they're tapping about here. Well, clearly I've picked Steve up wrong. I thought he said he was going to be here. Maybe he tends to be here, but he's got held up in a meeting or whatever. But like I said, if we see him going into the room, then I'll know that he's there. And of course, at 6:30 in the UK, this is where people are at their dinner or their supper, or however you want to describe it. A lot of people getting home from work, catching up with the day's news and that sort of thing. So we'd expect a few more people to join us. So we're going to have a bit of tippy-tapping here, both on -1. Well, it's going to be a long night to get to 200 if we keep this up. But as we've seen before, in these tip-tap situations, sooner or later, a mistake will be made. Well, there is a bank on the 5 ball. In fact, there's a thin cut in the 5 ball. And I think it might be too much of an invitation for Cobra to refuse this. Welcome to Coldest Pillow. So, Cobra back on 0. And, well, 4 balls to choose from, but this is clearly the most important one straight away, because once he's dealt with these, he wants to get the angle to get the bump and free up some more. At least I would assume that's the plan. And Larry has signed up for Friday night 9 ball. I knew he'd be around somewhere. So Cobra in a positive score now, and he's having a look at this breakout straight away here. Again, you know, leaving a bailout ball up the table, especially if it's to get to the break shot, as and when there is a break ball, might not be a bad idea. Well, he's going to have to probably use a bailout ball right now because he's married up with the 9. And had he not had anything up the table there, or down the table as we look now, down this end of the table at the bottom of the screen, he would have been struggling. But still not, I would suggest, an ideal break ball. those three that are in the triangle there, if one of them could be nudged out, might be handy. Of course, at this time of day, it's also around lunchtime. Steve's east coast of the state, so they're at the moment 4 hours behind us. So it's 6:30 here, and it's 2:30 or 2:35 over on the east coast. And then, of course, we will be 5 hours in front again, back to normality after Sunday morning. So Cobra's got a ball in position. In fact, he's got two to choose from, two that are pretty good, I would say. Are certainly better to work with than what he had before, so he's in good shape here. And he can use the 10 ball to get to the 9 if he's going to do that. Well, he may well be committing to the 9, is he? Or is he going to stick with the 2? Well, of course, now he has to get good from that 10 ball out into the table. In that sort of line, something along that angle would be ideal for the break shot. So if he goes inside in this 10 ball, he can just come out a little. He might be going a bit straight, as a matter of fact. No, he's got an angle, so that should be good enough. The question is whether he goes forward to come up into the table and get closer to the 2 ball, or whether he prefers just to leave it at distance. You see, he's doing the right thing, and this is what a lot of players don't do. You've got to, it's all very well having a break ball, but having a break ball at this distance is not as good as having the cue ball closer. It's probably better for control. So objective complete. He's got the break shot. He's got a couple of balls in play. And on he goes. That 8. And, well, that 8 and 9, you can certainly, not the 9, it's a 13 ball, or is it 11? I keep getting bloody confused with these colours. He's going to play the combo right now. It's the 13. Easy enough to make. Question is whether he's going to hit this firm and try and get a bump at the same time. And he may well have tried that, but he's missed the pack. Well, if that 3 ball wasn't there, it'd be ideal to improve that stack of balls there with the 1 ball, but he's going to have to clear that 3 ball first. And then the other issue, he's going to probably have to take one of them up table. The 11 certainly goes, there's not a problem. But that just opens that up for a wee bit more comfort. Good evening, welcome to Miasma. Well, the high run is still 130, and Cobra's certainly capable of topping that.
Where's the cue ball going?
Oh, he was close there. Close to a disaster early on. Now we need to have a quick look at the pack here. Well, there's every one of those balls is dead in terms of in any sort of break ball. They're all right in the pack, pretty much. So you may well have to manufacture something this time. When does the snooker start on telly? What snooker are we talking about? The World Championships, not to halfway through April. I'll tell you when they start. When I'm off on holiday, I'm off the first week of the World Championships. I always am. It's about the 17th of April, I think, that they start. Something along those lines. Well, clearly I did misinterpret what Steve said. I thought he thought he was going to be here today, but like I said, maybe he is intended to be here, but he's going to join late on. Well, I think the VP4 Snooker World Championship's going to be knocked in the head because you're going to get far more people playing in the 9-ball Virtual World Championship than you ever will in the snooker one, and that's now at its anniversary from last year. So that'll probably be the next one, and Stubb will be in that again, and that's again his best chance of winning one of these. So here we go. He's on the 14. It's tight, and just got to watch how he comes off that stack of balls. He might be unlucky here. He's on the 10-ball, I think, but I don't think he's got a lot more to choose from there. Going to have to clear the one. Clearly, it's a blocker, so he's got to get rid of that. And if he gets rid of these two, he's fine with what's at the back of the stack there because they're ideal for moving stuff around. And I'm sure he's got his eye on those, but he's got to either leave an angle in this 13, cut it in and come back to the rail and out, or he's going to have to try and get out now. Depends what he decides to do, whether he's just trying to drop one into the side. Well, he's trying to get out now. He could probably get done with getting out a wee bit straighter in this. I mean, he might end up hit. Well, I don't think he can avoid coming into the pack. He'll do well to avoid it if he's trying to avoid the pack from this ball. And well, he's got a missed call, and the run ends on 31, and that's a surprise. But he didn't get out as straight on that ball as he probably would have liked. So now here's a perfect example for Tommyy where Cobra's unexpectedly missed, and Tommy's, well, he's got a ball and he's got a chance to make an impact here straight away. He's obviously got to get rid of that deficit first. Well, he might end up with the Dennis Taylor glasses. You never know. Whatever he can get a benefit from. So Tommyy has got a good table here, and I think that 5 ball would do as a break ball. Oh no, it's far too tight to the corner. Probably 11 ball, and it's down near the corner as well. But I think that's probably the favourite, the pink 12. It's unlikely there's going to be a better break ball happening because the way those balls are lying, because they're all wide open to get potted, although there's an issue here in how you get onto them, because clearly the 12 ball at the moment, although it can be used as a break ball, it's actually a blocker. So, oh dear, well, there's a big mistake already from Tommyy, and that's disappointing if you're trying to punish Cobra, and now Cobra's got a table like Christmas come early. That's a huge mistake, even this early on. And all he's done is get rid of his negative score, and that's really disappointing. And Cobra will be surprised he's back at the table. Very surprised, and goodness knows what this scoreboard's going to say the next time Tommyy gets a look in. Wow. Wow. Would you believe it? In fact, that's the thing I haven't tested. Give me a second while I test and check this. This replay's going to work. Hold on a minute. I'll be back with you in a second, guys. Don't touch that channel, or don't change the channel. Where the hell is the replay thing? I want to check that it's working, because nothing worse than the bloody thing not been set. Let's just check that it is, and it should be. Right, I'm back. Well, Cobra's getting a bit annoyed with himself, and Tommyy now can't believe he's back at the table. And of course, this is the kind of wake-up call that both players need, because you can't be making mistakes this early on with that sort of frequency. Tommy's now got the issue here. Now he's got the angle in the 9 where he can drop through and get rid of either of them. In fact, he's going to get rid of the 6 now that he's on it, and the 3, and that'll do it. But all of a sudden this has become a critical visit, and it seems crazy to say it, but from his first efforts just getting back to 0, and then unexpectedly getting another go from another mistake from Cobra, Tommyy will be desperate to make an impact here. Well, I think he might have wanted higher up the table for this 9 ball. I'm fairly certain he was trying to get there, but now he's got to avoid running into the 12. Was you playing? What time was your match last night? Because I forgot to look at that in the bracket. Coldest pillow. Well, that needs to spin. It needs to keep spinning. It needs to keep going. And that's a bit too shallow. In fact, it's far too shallow. He'll be lucky he can get anything good out of this. Well, that's good, because he's got 1 ball out, and that's all you need.
Where's the cue ball going?
And that's a disaster again. Unbelievable. What a start here. There's like a couple of noobs playing this game tonight. And Cobra back at the table. Tommyy scratches. Well, what can we say about that?
Oh dear, how sad, never mind.
That's about it. That was dangerous as well. Well, I'm going to have to go and have a look at this bracket for a minute and see what the hell I missed. What did I miss here? Monster, right, that's going to be a forfeit. One pocket slim. Interchange X. Brain fill out. Where the hell is Coldest Pillow in this thing? Why can't I see him? I can't see Coldest Pillow. Is he still on the winner's side? I can't remember where the hell he is. Oh, aye, there he is. Pool Kabouter got 108. Coldest Pillow got 200. Well, that's a fairly comfortable win at the end of the day. Did you actually have any run that was worth mentioning? Did you beat your high run? You got a 40 odd. So that's a couple of racks and then into a third rack. Well, question is can you see enough of that 9 to do anything with it? Oh, it's going to be thin in the 13. It's going to be thin, but he should get it. Oh, and he's missed it again. Would you believe it? Let's see if the replay is working. Well, that's a big pocket, and I'm surprised he actually overcut it at the end of the day. Well, Tommyy, how many opportunities are you going to need here to shake yourself down and get yourself into this match? Because there is, I mean, on another day, Cobra could be sitting very nearly on 100 right now had he been contributing out of these visits that he's already had to the table. It's just the fact that he's only 30 in front, you know, and well, Tommyy better start getting his act together. That's all I'm saying, because at the end of the day, and by the time this match is over, he doesn't want to be sitting thinking about all of those chances he's had early on, and he threw them all away. And that's one of the aspects of how you don't beat these guys. This is how you don't beat Albinario or Cobra, by not taking your opportunities. You've got to swing it in your favour and put a score on the board to add that pressure. And that almost scratched. Good God. And I think he's dead in the water. He's going to have to cross bank the 9 unless the 9 does go into the side. You know, he thinks he can get enough of it. Looks as if he can get enough of it. He's going to certainly brush the 2. But that's the problem with brushing the 2. He's not really played to get on another ball with that shot. So he's going to have to manufacture a combo which is nowhere near set to stay at the table. I think Mark's more accurate in his description of it. I'll be honest with you. I think Mark's hit the nail on the head with that. Well, Tommyy got the combo. Now this is tricky as well. Where the 11's sitting, he's going to have to cut the 11 and get into the side of the pack, and that's going far too straight. That's no good. That's absolutely no good. So he's just going to have to duck for cover here, take the point. Well, he's trying to spin forward.
Where's the cue ball going?
But he might have been better to, just control the cue ball down there so he could get a good length in the safety. Now it's tricky. Going to have to try and drop into the head of the pack. Don't know that that's going to get there, is it? No. Well, this is not going the way we thought it was going to go early on. Well, Cobra's got an easy enough shot just to skip off a ball and come around the back of the pack, but that he has to get it good behind the back of the pack because he doesn't want to leave Tommyy an escape route, and he has done. And Tommyy, if he gets this feather edge, he can get good length in this cue ball down into the kitchen and preferably on that bottom rail, but he's hit that too hard. I mean, he's still got reasonable length, but it's a lot better when your opponent's stuck in the rail. And Cobra's given this pack a look, but everything's far too tight. There's nothing set. Although that 5 balls interfered with by the 14, you'd be crazy to take on that 4-ball combo. And he's leaked a ball out. So there's a mistake. Probably not going to be a lot of damage from it though, because it's too straight. And well, unless Tommy's starting to get greedy here and trying to pinch something to make an angle to go forward and go tight around the corner and catch the pack, but that you could easily follow the object ball in here doing this if he's going to try that. He's trying to draw and pinch it. I think, no, he isn't. Maybe he spotted something. I don't know that the pack's actually changed any, but I'll tell you something, he's made his life a lot more difficult in getting a safety out of this. This is tough. Is he just going to run into the pack again, or is he trying the edge in the 3? No, caught the main pack, and another big mistake this time from Tommyy. You've got to hit these balls with a feather edge when they're so tight. You're going to nudge something out. So we're seeing mistakes galore here from these guys. I think a plethora of mistakes. There's a fancy word. Or in other words, far too many bloody mistakes. That's what we're seeing. Well, no problem in getting a break out here. Got to get the pot first though. And I'll tell you, Tommyy is going to regret this at the end of the night. It's taken a bad turn. The fact that he's not, in these opportunities he's had, he's not been able to clear that deficit. You just get the sense that it's all going to backfire on him. He's had his chances, he's taken none of them. And Cobra's probably, in the long run, going to end up getting well away from him and build up a lead. What do you mean, was I clever in school? No, I was thick as shit. I couldn't wait to get out of school. May 1980 I left the school, which would have been June, July, 3 months before my 16th birthday. May 1980, I always remember it. Couldn't wait to get out the door. And then after some time, I wished I was back in school. But then again, I have to say I've learnt far more in those intervening years through the internet than I ever learnt in school. I most certainly did. Well, Cobra's sitting with a break ball, and Tommy's sitting kicking himself. Now, got to hold this cue ball for the one into the right side pocket so he can get that good line on the break ball, which looks like the 10 ball from here. It might be the 14. It is the 14. But from this end of the table, looking at the contrast between the colour of the ball and the cloth, it looks like the 10 ball to me. Good evening, welcome to Hazard. Well, here we go again. And this time a much better break. Cue ball under control. And good to go. Well, there's nothing needs bumped. It's just those three balls that are in the triangle there, they just need to be picked off in the right order. But you can't do that until you've cleared the blocking balls. Certainly this 9 ball needs to go fairly soon, I would imagine. I wouldn't think it'd be now though. But I'd certainly be trying to get rid of that 9 ball, because these 2 balls want to head in that pocket. I mean, well, you don't want to take too many opportunities to get there, though. That's what I'd be saying. You want to get there sooner rather than later. And he's on the 9. So that's dealt with the obstacle to getting rid of this stuff. So that's all good. The only thing that isn't good is a break ball. Now this, at the moment, this has possibilities that it could be at the back of the pack. It could be a ball into a side pocket going into the pack. Unless something gets really favourable. Well, the 5 ball may well have to do. It's the corner of the pack, but it's better than nothing. In fact, where the cue ball's sitting right now would have been ideal as the break shot. Well, this is how you make your opponent stew and boil when you yourself have made more than your fair share of mistakes early on, and your opponent is still drifting away behind you because he couldn't make any impact himself. Whereas the shoe would have been in the other foot had Tommyy been scoring points like this in contributions and building up that lead that he should have against Cobra. In fact, the scoreboard should be the other way round with the chances Tommy's had, and that makes it even more annoying. Well, again, he wants to get the angle on this 15 just so that he can control the cue ball coming out, and that's good enough. So he can just drop this in sort of dead weightish and let that cue ball run out off the rail. And that's perfect. So the run is now 26, but the lead is getting big. And that puts pressure on Tommyy even more should he get an opportunity. Again, a control break, not slammed. And we might have a combo up the top there. It might be, yeah, that's unmissable. Stone dead. It might not be there for too long unless things get bumped into it, but it's absolutely stone dead. And Cobra will already spotted that, I would assume. He could actually just roll right through and take it right now and get rid of the problem. You know, there's no reason he can't do that. Well, you're not hitting it hard enough to do that. I think he's looking at taking the 8 and opening up the back of the pack. Or no, maybe not. He's looking at the 3. I'm surprised at that. Because he was ideal on the 8 ball there, just to cut that and nudge those open a wee bit. Well, that caught me by surprise because I thought that was just screaming out to be potted, that 8 ball. Well, he's gone the other way, got the pot, and he's got a bailout ball, just the one, because he had nothing else. That 6 ball way too tight. The combo is still on. He hasn't done any damage to that combo. But I think he's maybe regretting it that he didn't do that. Now he's going to be bumping stuff. So this has to come out good. And there goes the combo. And he's created another issue, and he's far too straight in the 13. So this is looking dodgy, the prospects at the moment. He's going to have to recover here. And it just threatened to go pear-shaped. Oh, just caught the knuckle. Well, these pockets are generous enough. You need to catch the knuckle a lot more solid than that for it to hang up. Now, this isn't cut and dried. This is a bit of bumping needing done here. Maybe let's have a look. Well, yeah, these are all they're too clustered to be trying to pick them off, and he needs a nice little bump. Nothing. He doesn't need to hammer anything. He just needs to nudge something to open them. But he's not really hit the problem. He's not really dealt with the problem. So I'm running out of opportunities as well. Well, I think he's trying to draw off this to get another nudge. Pretty much on top of the 11 ball, but that'll do. And looking at where these balls are finished, he's got a break ball, so crisis over for the time being. So Friday night 9 ball will be underway. I'm not sure if there was that many more people signed up to it. I don't know. I'm assuming that it's live on Slim's Twitch channel at the moment. Well, remember what I said about the break ball a minute ago? Well, that's it gone. So Cobra's already on plan B here for a break shot. Yeah, he's in trouble. Now, it could be... See, again, that could still be used as a break shot. Not if he pots it now, but that's a potential break ball by sitting there and cutting into the pack. And you've got the 4 ball that would allow you to get onto that 10, but he still might be trying to get on the 10. I haven't a clue what he's doing. And I'm not 100% convinced that he's really sure of what he's going to be doing here either. Not 100% convinced myself here. This is vital that he gets. If it's going to be this ball, he's not really got anything handy to get here. That's all your eggs in one basket. Well, the only other option then is coming back and playing the thin cut and bumping the back of the pack. That's the only other option, is nipping this in and coming across and playing the cut and then getting a bit of left spin and a bit of weight. But the back of the pack is going to be rock solid. Remember what we say about the dangers of the back of the pack. It's not the first time a cue ball ran off the back of the pack and scratched one of the corner pockets. But it's all come out good. It's come out very good. Excellent. And I think he's got a break ball already, and maybe even more than one. That's turned out very nice. 15 balls close to the pack, but it'll do. 4 ball is a lot further away, but it would do. So he's got options here. And it's a healthy enough looking table. And again, it's more reason for Tommyy to be sitting there stewing even more. Because all of these could have been his. And, well, and if really, in the space of, what, 4 or 5 visits that Tommy's had, he's lost the match. There you are, I've said it. Tommy's going to have to put a record high run together to get out of this hole. And his high run's 94. He's going to have to top that if he's going to beat Cobra. He's going to have to make some sort of impact on a visit if he gets one. So that's really ramped the pressure up on him to deliver. And of course this also gives Cobra the chance to get settled in, get into a sort of rhythm. Now they're not a combo, so again, bit of tidying up needing done to get to that 14 ball. Well, that's true if he gets a shot. We're assuming that he might get a shot. You know, it's up in the air whether he will or he won't, but judging by the mistakes Cobra's made, anything could happen. And all it needs is that cue ball just to marry up on another ball and you've no shot. We've seen it happen plenty of time before. And these pockets are very inviting to a loose cue ball. So I think he's got his break ball and that won't be touched. And he's just working around on what one is going to be the ball to get on it. Well, that one there would have been handy. This one here will still work. And I forgot he's got a ball down table here at the bottom, so he needs to get rid of that. Because it looks like it could possibly be the 5 ball to get to the break ball. I'll have a quick drink, just a sec. Well, vital that you get good on this penultimate ball. Make it nice and comfortable and simple to just roll into place for that break shot. Needs to keep going. And that's good enough. This cue ball naturally just wants to come this direction, so he may well stun this a bit just to get it straight, or straightish. No, he's just letting it run out. Well, he could have stunned that. He could have stunned it just to bring it squarer instead of running away so far. But good enough. So the run is 54. And again, another sweetly controlled break shot. Not hammered. Just a nice weight. And the balls are broken fairly nicely. But again, there's the usual trouble somewhere in the table. And, well, this is a bit of a tight space to get into here. So that's something that should be playing in his mind, how he just nips into a space here. And he could probably do that now off this 8-ball. He just wants to, well, he's going forward, but again, I thought there for a second he could easily just nip back and get into this spot here and deal with this situation. So he's banking on the fact that he's going to be able to get there again. But that, to me, was an ideal opportunity to get right in there and tidy up that back end of the pack there. So we'll see if he regrets that choice of shot. Did any of you guys see that story I saw it in the TV this morning about, you remember that car accident that happened in the M6? Just, was it roundabout or before Christmas, I think it was, where 4 people get killed in a car and the other car was on the wrong side of the motorway on the M6. It was like heading north and they were all heading south, or vice versa. And the four people in the car, which was the mum, the dad, and the kids, they all died. And the guy in the car was apparently a 40-year-old ex-RAF pilot, and he decided that he wanted to end it all, and he goes and takes out 4 other people's lives in the process. How sad is that? Well, I thought that at the time. I mean, I must admit, I think I said at the time it must have been some kind of suicide, because there's no way you can accidentally get on there unless you're, from outside the country and you're not familiar with the British roads. But it had to be some crazy lunatic. Anyway, we're coming to the critical point in the rack again. The run is 64. And Cobra halfway home. Well, he can't beat his high run. There's a fairly slim chance of doing that, but he can certainly beat the high run for the tournament if he keeps this up. That's the commentator's jinx. So the break ball's in place. Now, he's got to get the angle off this 2-ball just to nip that 5-ball up the rail and bump the rail and come across this way into the table. So he does not want to leave this straight. That would be sort of fatal, and then he'd have to start doing acrobatics with the cue ball. He must get the angle off this rail for the cut in that 5. And that's gone too far. It's gone too far. He wanted to be there. He didn't want to be there. And suddenly he's going to probably have to go 2 rails to get there. This could end up straight. And this is a lot more tougher to judge the shot. And in fact, he tried to play it inside, I think. I'm not sure what he did there. Let's have a look at that again. What the hell was he trying there? I think he took his eye completely off the ball. So the run ends on 67. And again, Tommy's been let off the hook there. That was all because he got himself too far into the table. That's why I said it was critical that when he potted that too, that he got the angle. Now, that angle there's fine. That angle there, you start sweating buckets. And clearly that was what made the shot uncomfortable. But I think he was playing the cut up the rail. I don't believe he was playing it at that pace into the side. I can't believe it. Maybe he was. And, well, Tommy's got a break, but he's going to have to bail out in this 4-ball because I don't think he's got anything else. I mean, he's got a dodgy cut in the 8-ball, but let's be honest, I don't think he fancies that. And this is ugly straight away from the break. He's under pressure to nail this 4-ball. And these balls are all blocking one another. And he's lucky there that he's finished short. He can play the 3-ball and cut into these and do a bit of damage. He can play the 8-ball and do likewise. The 8-ball would have been handy as a break shot, though. He's, well, that's the issue for the time being. So there's an awful lot on Tommy's shoulders here at the moment. A huge deficit, virtually 100 points behind, all by it. What, 80 points behind. So he's got a mile to go to get into this match. And it's a tall order, but it's straight pull, and it can happen. You've just got to believe. In fact, the one thing you shouldn't be doing in this situation is paying any attention to the scoreboard. That should be the last thing in your mind, because all you're doing is focusing on the job in hand, and that's potting balls and keeping potting balls. That's all you have to do. The scoreboard will take care of itself. You should be paying no attention to it at all. This is just like starting all over again. Well, now there's still problems here. This 6-ball is the concern because it's not got a path to a pocket. That's the concern there. And that is going to have to be dealt with. And the longer he goes on without dealing with it, the more of a problem there is. He's got a comfortable enough break ball there. But this issue here and that ball there are going to be his nightmare in this rack if he can't get there on any of them. And it's not easy to get there on them either. That's the problem. Yeah. Well, he's going to get rid of the blocking ball, so that's the one major achievement. And he's going to bail up table or down table as we're looking. So now it's in reasonable shape. So any latecomers watching this, we've got about another 3 or 4 matches on the schedule. There's one later on tonight, which I would assume, I think it's at 10 o'clock GMT, and I can't remember who's playing as usual. But there is a match on later tonight. Slim may well still be streaming Friday Night 9-ball at that time if there's enough in the tournament. Well, this is it's not perfect, but again, it all clinches on how good he gets on this 9-ball if he's going to use the 9-ball as a break ball, as a second last ball. Oh, Cobra is exactly that type. he won't be happy with how the match has started, the amount of errors he's made. You know, he's made a shed load of mistakes early on, and again can consider himself lucky that on another night he could have been really punished, and he wasn't. Simple as that. He just was not punished.
Where's the cue ball going?
Well, cue ball's going reasonably good, and I look at the way these are set up. Yes, there are blocking balls, but look at the gap between all these balls. This is a nice little exercise for Cobra here, for Tommyy, sorry, to keep going and eat into this deficit. This couldn't be a better table. So he's still got issues to get dealt with. The 7 ball, of course, would do as a break ball if you're going to commit to that right now. Nothing else is all that good. If you went out of shape and you ended up somewhere over there, the 11 ball could act as a break ball from the side of the pack. So he has options at the moment. Yeah, Cobra won't be happy how things have went. So he'll be happy from the fact that he's got a healthy lead. Make no bones about that. But that he knows that he's got away with it so far because he hasn't been punished. That's been the disappointing thing from Tommyy, that he's capitulated with the opportunities he's had and made nothing from them at all. This is his best contribution to the match. And, well, and now he's got to get rid of that 10. That has to go. That has to go now. Well, he's got the 6 ball to bail out on. And now he's got to try and just get into a little spot here. This is a bit like playing snooker with the Reds. You know, you pot the 6 ball, get out into the table, into an area, just a bit like that. He's gone a wee bit too far, but probably take the 7. He could take the 15. He could leave that as the penultimate ball to get to the break ball, the 5 ball. So he's got options here again still, but he needs to get rid of this stuff here. Well, dare I say it, but it's just shaping up to be a very important contribution here. It's in the very early stages, but he's really, really got to keep this going if he can. Because you're also, I mean, after the sort of disasters early on from both players, you know, Tommy's looking to make some sort of statement. Just put that, any semblance of a doubt into Cobra's mind, and he can do that by putting a run together. That's it's the only way you can get inside your opponent's head, is just putting a good run together, especially when you're in this big deficit. Eat away that deficit and get yourself right back into the match. And suddenly then it's a different game for Cobra. So now he couldn't be in a better position here. Just got to watch the touch in this 15 ball. Get this cue ball at least parallel up and down line with this 5 ball for the break shot. Well, it's gone a bit shallower. Well, he's got enough to get a hit. He would have liked to probably a wee bit further over. So I think he'll want to make sure he's coming away for this pack, but not too much juice. And he's got a very nice hit. Cue balls came away from the pack. Cue ball's good. And he's got shots. Again, very early in the rack. 11 balls at the head of the pack. It would do as a break ball. 8 ball likewise from the other side. But something might be nudged into place. Tommy's run goes to 31 and counting. The match has been on for exactly an hour. Now, well, I think he's looking at something. That's not going to get to the pocket, Tommy. That's not getting to the pocket. That's a huge fail again, just as I say it. Unbelievable. And that is, well, you just can't do that. You know, I think Cobra can't believe he's back at the table again. And Tommy's sold out with that shot. I don't know why he was playing it so soft. Was he trying to hold for the 11 and do damage? I don't know. Why did he play it so soft? Oh, Cobra's lucky also. He's got a bailout ball because he's stuck on that 9 ball. He's going to play the combo. Doesn't have to play the combo. He can play that to 11 up the table into the corner, even though he's hampered over the 10. But well, Tommy, you just cannot afford huge unforced errors like that, because you're just hammering nails into your own coffin doing that, my friend. Now, what I will do, in fact, I'm going to do it right now. I'm just going to tab out for a minute so I can shut Discord down. Just 2 minutes. Now, where the hell is Discord? Right, there we go. Right, that's shut that down. One less bit of resources running. I had ham hock and potato gratin. That's what I had. Potato slices, a bechamel sauce, ham hock underneath, salt and pepper on top. Lovely, thank you very much. Right, so we have those 2 balls remaining where they are right from the start of this rack. The 8 ball either side, the 11 likewise. So both of them are at the head of the pack. And one of them, I would assume, is going to be the break ball. Listen to this, Mark. This is the longest sleep I've had in 10 years. The other day there, it was my days off. It was it Tuesday? Sorry, not Tuesday. Wednesday morning. I woke up at 3:20 in the morning, and my body clock, you know, does that. Because at 3:20 I know I've got 40 minutes to go before the alarm goes. But anyway, this is my day off, so the alarms are switched off. But anyway, I woke up at 3:20 in the morning. I had to go to the bathroom, dealt with that. And then I thought, well, I don't feel like going back to bed. So I booted up the PC, went into the lobby. And not long after that, we had enough to play cowboy doubles. Tam turned up, Casino Jim turned up, and Crosty K22 turned up. So we had 2 games of cowboy, which me and Tam were paired up, which we both won. Crosty had enough of that and he pissed off. And that was him gone for the night. So that was the end of that. And so it would have been, what, maybe 5 o'clock or something like that when we finished. And I decided I'm going to leave the PC on, but I'm going to bed because I really felt tired again. Next thing I know, I'm waking up and it's 20 minutes to 12 in the morning. I went back to bed and I slept for hours and I felt great for it. And that's the longest, if you include when I went to bed the night before, which would have been about, what, maybe 9, half 9, quarter to 10. Woke up at 20 past 3, had that little interlude, went back to bed, and then woke up at 20 minutes to midday and had my lunch. That's the longest I've had in bed in 10 years since I've been working at Tesco. And I felt all the better for it. And the fact that I'm not getting enough sleep is really telling on me now. It is definitely an age thing, but I think most of it's self-inflicted by not getting enough sleep. I really should be going to my bed about 8 o'clock at night, you know. And even if I wake up early, I should just be lying dozing in my bed until the alarm goes off at 4 o'clock in the morning. But I can't remember the last time I had anything remotely near 8 hours sleep. In fact, I don't think I've ever had 8 hours sleep, to be honest with you. You know, that was the longest I've had in years the other day. And of course, Stubbs arrived in the room as usual. Complaining, and he says, bullshit pockets, spelt P-O-K-E-T-S. Bullshit pockets, guys, too annoying. What he means is that they're too wide, he can't hit them when he's banging them. Set on noob pockets, he says. Well, Stubb, you can't have it both ways. He wants, first of all, he wants 10 ball in the 10-footer, thinking he's going to win because it's in the 10-foot table. He was shit at that, and now he's complaining that the straight pulls and pockets are too big for him. I mean, how the hell do you want it set up, Stubb? Doesn't matter how the table's set. He's just not good enough. Oh, he'll keep saying this for months on end, so he will. And he'll still go on about Cobra and the 9-ball. Once this 9-ball Virtual World Championship starts again, he'll be on the same routine again with Cobra. The fact that he bottled out agreeing a time to play him in the final and ended up getting forfeited because of it. He's a numpty, so he is. He's the perfect definition of a numpty, Stubb. Here we go. Well, where's Miasma when you need him? Miasma should be dealing with this half-wit. Oh dear. Well, Cobra's completely choked on that shot. Look at that for a shot. That was terrible. He's completely bottled out in that shot and not delivered the cue. Trying to get out into the table. Well, he'll be nuts to take this on. And he is nuts, but he's got it. I think he was that pissed off with himself that he's decided he's going for it anyway. And he's nailed it. He has nailed it. Well, there's a whole basket load of points here for Cobra to take this match well away from Tommyy. And I had great hopes that Tommyy could cause problems for Cobra, but he just wasn't up to the task at all. None whatsoever. Disappointing as a neutral. Want to see somebody put pressure on these guys. But you're not going to get anything handed in a plate to you, Tommyy. You've got to take those chances, and unfortunately, you haven't taken them. And Cobra almost scratched there as well. Quick look at the break ball. Well, it will be the 7. I don't think there's much doubt about that. Well, I don't think it would be wise to leave that 4 ball there to get to the 7. I think he needs to get rid of that 4 ball. And he could certainly work with the 6 ball, but I wouldn't leave the 4 ball sitting there. Could even use the 8 ball. I mean, there's better choices in that 4 ball, so he's got rid of it. And Stubbs get bored. He's left the room at last, thank goodness. Well, there's no excuse for not getting good on this 7 ball now off this 8. He's just got to leave the angle again. So this is all about the weight of shot. He needs to get out into the table. He can't leave this too straight. Got to get out to there. And that's no good. That's no good. He's annoyed. That's a semi-pro wiggle. Left it far too straight, and he's getting even more annoyed with himself. So, you know, if you were in an after-match interview, Cobra would be not pleased at all with his performance. He's got a ball. He's got a couple to choose from. The 6 ball would be crazy because you'd be just finishing the back of the pack. You can take the 11 up the table, but you're not really going to have a follow-up shot. So he's probably better ducking and diving here rather than just potting another ball. I mean, he had nothing to stop him punching the 11 up the table, calling a safety and sticking in the back of the pack, but he's gone all out for it. Got the pot. But look what happens when you head into a solid brick wall of balls. You end up nothing. Well, he could try a stun billiard onto the 6. That'd be nuts to do that. It looks as if that's what he's doing. Commentator's eye. He's called the 6 ball. He needs to jack up. Yeah, playing a stun billiard, and he didn't get it. Good effort. Was never easy to execute that. So Cobra's visit ends in 42, and these are all points that should have been Tommy's. And Tommy's a mile behind, almost 100 points behind again. 96 to be exact. Well, all we'll say is Tommy's leaving this far too late for the sensational comeback. Well, got a combo here that he can't miss. Let's have a quick look at the schedule at the moment as it was an hour or two ago. We've got the match with Cobra and Tommyy right now, which started at 6:30. We've got Larry, who's in Friday Night 9 Ball at the moment. And Larry's up against Laser. I don't know whether that will go ahead, whether Laser will show up. I'm not sure, but it's due to start at 10 p.m. tonight. I would assume Slim's going to cover that on his Twitch channel. And then we've got Slim himself supposedly playing Miskin on Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. Slim will be streaming that himself. Brainful Out and Interchange X are going ahead on Sunday evening also at 9:30. So Slim can have that one as well because that's too late for me. And then the match I'm intended to do at the start of my days off next Tuesday evening is Albinario up against MC_Clarkey at 7:30 British summertime. It will be on April the 1st, Tuesday next week. So I hope you can join us for that. It should be a good one. Meanwhile, Tommy's still at the table, a long way from home. Well, we need to have a closer look at what the setup is here. 8 ball would work, but obviously there's a blocker, and Tommy's got to play a nice little hold and shot here. He's actually not held it enough. Well, it looks as if his decision's been made for him. The 8 ball's going to go, and he's probably going to have to deal more than likely with the 10 ball at the corner of the pack. So 4 ball into the side. It's critically gets good on this 15. Is there any other ball down the table here? No, there isn't. So he's got himself really too close to the rail here, I think, for comfort. Because now he's probably going to have to just drop through for the one into the side. So the cue ball is going that way. He much prefer to have been straighter on this one into the side. This cue ball's going to have to run a fair bit here to give him an angle. Yeah, the further away he goes, the more of an angle he's going to get. But that will do. Oh, now he's good. He's got balls in play, but he's got a big stack to deal with. Now again, having a look at this end, there's a 6 ball that's a blocker, a 4 ball that you can use to do some damage. You've got these 2 balls that are in the way of each other, although you've got an 11 ball that could be a break ball as it stands at the moment. And straight away he's in trouble. He's going to have to bail out with the thin cut in the 3 if he can see it. Yeah, he can see it. And he's got to get out into the middle of the table here to have a shot in this 9, because the other balls are all blocking one another. He's got 1 ball he can pot after this 3 ball. Really, he's got to come across the table and back out. He's got the 3 and he's got out and he's on the 9. He's actually got an angle where he could go forward here and get a bit of a hit. I don't know that he might want to do that though. It's a bit risky. He could just, well, he's took a risk. The cue ball running forward. Got a bonus ball. He's got a 4 ball he can cut back. He won't miss that. So he's good to go at the moment. Now, what has he done in regards break balls? Well, the 11 ball is sitting prime now. And I don't think he should be touching that. It looks the favoured ball. The rest of it now is just an exercise in dealing with that problem there. This is an issue here that needs to be dealt with. And again, needs to get there and deal with it now. Now, I think, I thought he was going to take the 12 there and just play a little bump. I mean, he doesn't need to play a bump, but he could have played that to hold for that ball. But anyway, we'll see whether he can get rid of this problem. He needs to just nip back off the 14, but that's tight, that 1 and 8. Yeah, the little bump will do the trick. So all is good. He's prime and good to go to keep this run going. Well, again, he's got good opportunities also in getting on this break ball. The penultimate ball, he's got a couple of good ones that he can use. He might be getting rid of one of them right now unless he's played this ball down table. Is he playing the 15 into the side? Yes, he is. So I would think that, well, you've got to commit either way here. Well, that's straightish. Sort of indecisive there for a second or two. So now the critical one, he's got to get off this rail into the table, and he needs to get far enough into the table like that, and that's no good. That is really, really poor. Yes, he can go forward off the rail, but he really wants to be up there, and that's the problem with that shot. Oh, this is maybe landed perfect though. Well, this is where you've got to be brave. You know, the 8-ball into the side. He's looking at the 4 up the table, but he might never get as good on this 8-ball. Is he going to go up top for the 8-ball? He looks like it, yeah. So here we go. This to do some damage. Well, he's got enough in the open. You play the combo. Again, as soon as you see opportunities like that, you should really be on top of them to get rid of blocking balls and loosen things up a wee bit. Again, here's the issue here. There's no break ball anywhere there. There's a possibility at the back of the pack. So there's immediate work needing dealt with to keep this going. The run goes to 31. Now, there's a psychological imbalance at the moment with Tommyy, and I mean that can be rectified, but it only gets rectified when it gets to 3 figures, because in his mind then he's a lot closer to Cobra. Psychologically at the moment, Cobra's too far away, so he's got a bit to go yet to get to 3 figures, but I think it might help his cause if he can. But needs to do some damage here, and that has done the trick as far as that goes. However, this 15 ball, you don't want to leave that sit there too long, and none of these balls are any good. So this continuation here is borderline that he's going to be able to do that, the way these balls are sitting. And the longer that one sits there, the more concerned I get. Because it serves absolutely no purpose there for a break ball or anything like that. So he's nudged it out. Well, if he can get through this rack and on to the next one, then there might be possibilities. That's all I'm going to say. And the one possibility would be if he could somehow hold the cue ball in the rack and use that as a break ball. That's not exactly what he's going to do, but he still needs to get down this end of the table if he's going to try it from that way. Let's have a look. Well, he's in the position where he can do it. He's in position. I've got to really slam those and right at the head of the pack here. Doesn't want to glance off the pack. This could be dangerous, but you've got to take the risk. And there you go.
Where's the cue ball going?
He glanced the edge of the ball to the side of the pack and down he goes. And that, again, just when Tommyy was looking like maybe a threat, boom, he's blown a gasket again. The run ends in 39. I think that's his biggest contribution of the night. And finally, Miasma has woken up and dealt with the problem. And now he's arrived in the chat. Why don't you arrive in the chat and type your bullshit in here instead of getting and annoying the guys in the room? Show a bit of bloody common sense, Stub. For goodness sake. Well, unfortunately, it might be noob pockets, but they were too noob for you, Stub. Well, that might be the fatal blow self-inflicted on Tommyy there with that scratch. I mean, I was just mentioning in the stream, Stub, that that first of all you wanted 10 ball played in the 10-footer with tournament pockets. You got what you wanted there. You were shit in that tournament. And now you've got a table that's very inviting. Normal pockets, plenty of room in the pockets. And you were shite in it as well. So what does that tell you, Stub? There's not any other way to say it. You can't get it whatever way you want, Stub, and not be able to deal with it. Well, look on the bright side. The 9-ball Virtual World Championships coming up next. That's your best chance of winning something. I say that every year. I don't know how long I've been saying that. It must be nearly 20 years now, isn't it? Well, Cobra's lucky there, because that could have got ugly very quick. In fact, it might have got ugly. It has got ugly. He's nailed. He is nailed to the 14 ball. Would you believe it? And he's got nothing. And the visit is just 4. And Tommyy is getting off the hook here. Cobra is in a mire. He is not potting anything there, I'll tell you that right now. He is absolutely rock solid. That's touching ball in anybody's language. That's how easy it is to get in trouble in straight pull. Just stick the cue ball like that and you're blocked out and everything. Well, he's looking around and looking around, but there ain't anything there for him. He can keep looking, because the more you look, nothing changes. And he's trying to squeeze it in the back of the bunch there, but it was very difficult to keep it safe. So Tommyy has got off the hook this time, and Tommyy can't believe he's back at the table. And once again, Tommy's been given an opportunity, and is he up to the task? Well, issue on the left-hand side of the table. Shouldn't be that difficult to deal with it. Now that pink 12 ball is tight, but it will work as a break ball. So, and the other thing also is that he's got a ball that would be handy to get to that break ball. So nothing needs to be moved or anything here. He just has to find his way to it. Just got to find his way to it, and he's good to go. That's stubbish for Cobra and Albinario. I think you'd have worked that out yourself there, cold as pillow. I thought you'd have worked that out. Well, he's taken the penultimate ball, as I called it. He's going another route. See, this is a lot easier to get good on that break ball. That's the reason I said that ball. So now it's imperative that he goes through far enough on this 14 that he's going forward and going parallel with this break ball. He doesn't want it to open out straight. So I think it was a lot easier doing it with that ball up table than it is with this lot. Well, again, it's finished awkward. I think he can pot this in the side and run up. I think he can miss the 14. I think he's going to be tight. Well, he's looking and looking, but you drop this into the side, the cue ball is going that way. Well, I don't understand his thinking at all here. I mean, yes, the 12 ball's out the pack. Why didn't he take it into the side? And he's left it all for Cobra. Cobra's, well, he's got an angle. He's going to have to batter this. A good amped up stun to do some damage here because he's a bit too straight again. I think that would have been perfect as a break ball if he'd played it right. Anyway, it's all too late now. Tommy's contribution was just 6 points, and that. Well, I think if he gets back to the table, it'll be last chance saloon. If he does get back to the table, Cobra's got 49 to go to finish the job, and let's be honest, it's far too many opportunities have gone south for Tommyy tonight. That one run that he had where it was, it gave him possibilities, and then of course he finished awkward with the break shot, and the inevitable happened, running into the head of the pack, caught the glancing blow off the side of the pack, and in it went. That paid to that visit. So it's been a tough school tonight for Tommyy. It's all about what if I had taken those opportunities. The scoreboard could have looked entirely different. So this match has been on for 1 hour and 34 minutes. Cobra's looking around, dead straight in the 10. You've got a 1 ball you could use as a break shot. You've got the 6 ball that obviously needs to go out of the way. And then you've got these 2 balls here that are not exactly accessible. He's trying to get in there, I think. I'm thinking he was maybe trying to get in there. He's left it short. Now he can play a 2-way shot here. He can pot that 11, stun into the rail and spin back this direction to try and get on that 2 again if he's not comfortable with it now. But it's a 2-way shot because you'll have a bailout. I mean, that's probably what I'd be doing. I'd be trying to get into here just to play that 2 and get the 7 ball out of the way. And then maybe leave the 6 into the side. But he's going the other way, and that'll work. And now there's a chance to play the 2 and get rid of the 6 here if he wants. And you'd want to obviously play the 6 clean so you're not interfering with the 1. So he's pretty much got things in order here. It's just about where the penultimate ball's going to be to get good onto that one ball. And you can hear the cogs in his head turning here as he's looking at the pattern. Well, I don't know that he wanted to do that. I don't know that he wanted to do that. That's a terrible shot. That is a really, really poor shot. Because I can't believe he's played that shot and said to himself, right, I'm going to bump the one because I need to get rid of it. That was just awful. The one was sitting prime where it was. And, well, a real unintentional hit there, and now he's back to square one, running out of balls. Well, as it's sitting, you could have played the cut into the side again, but where he's sitting is no good, because you've got that 13 ball or whatever ball it is the 11 or the 13 stuck to the rail, and he's in horrible shape here. So it's going to be the 7 and the cut into the side of the pack, and depending whether he spins off this pack, again the cue ball could go south into this corner pocket. And he hasn't get into the cue ball. He's left it way short. He wanted that out to here, at least out to here, because then you can cut it and get it into it. So this is going to have to go a lot of juice. And he just glanced at the top of the pack. And I don't think he's lucky here. He's going to have to bank this. Yeah, I don't think there's any point in looking around any further. If he wants to stay at the table, he's going to have to bank the 15. I mean, that's a fairly comfortable bank up and down, because these pockets are very forgiving if you get the pace right anyway. But he's also got to think about the cue ball, because there ain't a heck of a lot else available if he does bank this 15. Well, what's he trying to spot here? I'm looking and looking to see if there's anything. Is he looking at the 9? No, he is calling the bank. But watch the cue ball here, because it's imperative that he holds the cue ball, and I don't know that he can. To try and get that 3 ball or have some sort of shot on it, well, he's going to have a cut, and he should be able to get a pinch into the back of this stack here and do some damage. Got the hit. Cue ball running loose, but it hasn't got the legs, but it was definitely scratching, I think. But the table now is in reasonable shape. He's also got a break ball. That would be the candidate there. It's, again, fairly high in the pack. I mean, the 14's at the other end. You've got the 6 ball that can be used as well. So he's got choices here. So nothing's, I don't think, committed yet. In fact, he's going to have to bail out in this 13 into the side, because I don't think he's really on anything that's comfortable. Oh, now, well, that's not done any harm, but this is the bit that's needing tidied up, and that's a problem, because that's blocking, and it's a simple enough combo if you sat there. So there's issues to deal with as he edges ever closer to his target. Cobra might say this is his worst performance of the tournament so far. If he's going to be self-critical, he might well say that. He's made far too many mistakes. He knows that if he does that on any other night, it won't be quite as pretty a scoreboard for him. Just unfortunate Tommy's not really been able to capitalise with those chances he was given. Not really. And he's still got a problem here, and again, running out of balls, but he can get there. He can get there. You've got to take the 2, and you've got to get onto that 6. Dragging the pace off the cue ball, and I think he hasn't come out ideal in this, but he's going to have to bump them now off this 2, I think. Stun this in, get a nudge. Really just to probably hold the cue ball. I don't know that he can actually hold this. Yeah, he had to stun across just to sort of control the cue ball. And, well, he's sitting awkward. Get rid of the 6. And have to commit. Well, he's going to commit to the 6 by the look of it if he's looking at the 1. Now he's looking the other way again, so I think he's finally made the commitment. It's more than likely going to be the 1 ball. So 27 away from the finish line. I don't know that that's a great shot either. Hang on a minute. I don't think has he gone far enough? Was he intending to play for the 1 ball? Well, now it's up in the air. It's probably going to be the 10 ball to the back of the pack. I'm surprised at that. I mean, you had a big margin of error there. You could have hit that harder from out this side. You'd have been on either of those 2 balls there and kept the 1 ball in place. But anyway, and I think he's got the wrong angle in this 14 as well. But now he's sitting good. So again, it's a wall of balls. Got to try and hit a corner ball if he can. Or the two at either corner, if you know what I mean. Well, he got a solid hit. I think it was the bottom 2 that he got, and he's good to go. So this is the final few nails being knocked into Tommy's coffin. Well, on the winner's side, that is. So 21 away, going to need another rack. Well, nothing's ideal as a break ball there. And it might be around the backside again off the 12 ball. That'll be in sort of prime position to get a break shot off that. And the thing is, he's got to get this mess dealt with over the side pocket. 2 ball goes past the 4 down into this bottom corner here, so he can get rid of that at any point. But he's going to do a little nudge off this 15, and that'll open, or it should open things out. Well, it hasn't really. I mean, the 2 still goes. He can get to off the 1, just stun that in and come out and leave himself in the 2 and deal with that, come down and deal with this. If we decide that that's going to be the break ball, although he might want to keep the 1 ball there as the penultimate ball to get to the break shot. So he has to deal with these. All the time, you've got this one here. So that one there is not much of a worry, the fact that the 1 ball's going to stay there. So he's probably going to deal with that one next. Or deal with his 14 and the 2. So it's looking good for what I'm thinking he's trying to do here. Didn't I say 200 to 96? I don't know. We'd need to review the chat, which I can't do. To be honest with you, I can't be bothered either, even if I could do. Right, so, well, he's going to do it the other way. Has he finished two straight? He's got an angle. So he needs to get high enough or stay square, one of the two, so he's staying squarish. And that's a perfect angle. But again, watch how the cue ball comes off this back wall of balls. So this will be the winning rack. They've broke very nicely. And he's going to have to bail out down table here. Probably the 15, but he's got loads to choose from. So this is game, set, and match. So there you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All the balls are wide open that he needs. And it's ended up in a comfortable win for Cobra. He's put the telling contributions together with the chances he's had. And that's what the neutrals were banking on Tommyy doing with the chances he had, but he just failed to deliver. And Tommyy won't be getting to three figures either unless there's a complete mental breakdown here from Cobra. Well, he's doing his best to try and make it awkward. 4 away. Just nip the 4 in, out for the 3. Pot the 3, play the 9. Game, set, and match. You just cut this in, check it. Just check it a wee bit or nip round the back to be fancy. He can do whatever he wants. He's going to check it up. And there you go. So it turned out disappointing for the neutral, hoping that Tommyy was going to make a match of it. Unfortunately for him, he didn't. And it's a nice little finish by Cobra, a run of 52 to take him over the finish line. The result is Cobra 200 points, Tommyy 96, and Cobra marches on. And we will have a look at the bracket. We go top to bottom. Spudboy and Sergresh are still to get at it. They've only got a couple of days left. And Coldest Pillow through to round 3 plays the winner of whoever comes out of that match. Further down we have the match we spoke about earlier. MC Clark and Albinario Tuesday night. My time. Further down we've got Cobra already through to round 4 with the win tonight. Further down from that we've got a round 2 match with Larry and Laser. That's happening later on in exactly an hour and 40 minutes time between Larry and Laser, and the winner of that match will be playing Cobra in round 4, and that will be an interesting matchup because Larry of course can cause problems for these guys. Tell a lie, what am I talking about? No, Larry's through. If Larry comes through, he's going to play Acero. What my brain's gone to bed already, folks. So Larry and Acero again, that'll be a good match with those two. And then of course the winner of that one, if it comes to it, with the greatest respect to Laser, I think Larry's the favourite. It would be a match-up with Cobra. One lost side, what we got happening here, well, we've got those matches already arranged. The one with Slim and Miskin, which happens over the weekend. You've got Stubb waiting on Rabi getting advanced because I don't think Monster's going to show. So Stubb's going to have a match with Rabi and the one lost side. Aussie, Mick and Hazard, they've still to sort something out. They've got again until the 1st of April, so they're running out of days. The problem with that is the that if Aussie Mick is from Australia, which I think he is, there's a huge time zone difference there. Interchange X. He plays Brainful Out. That's already been arranged. Power Slam to play Bedhead. The deadline for those matches is April the 6th. Fast Eddie up against DJ Simon. Linus, who won earlier on today, up against Polka Bouter. And finally, Miasma is waiting on the loser coming across from the Spud Boy Sergaresh match. So a final look at the schedule. Larry and Laser later tonight. Presumably Slim's going to cover it. Slim against Miskin, provided Miskin turns up. That is tomorrow night at 7. Again, Slim will be doing that one. Brainful Out and Interchange X, Sunday evening my time at 9:30. And that's too late, obviously, for me, so hopefully Slim can get that. And then Albinario Matt on Tuesday evening at 7:30. I will be there for that. So that's it, folks. Well done to Cobra, but he won't be a happy chappy. I know he'll be annoyed at the errors that he made, but he got off the hook. He knows that on another day it could turn out a lot worse than that. So, well done to Cobra surviving and getting through. Good luck to Tommy, the one-loss side, and good night from me, and I'll see you in the not-too-distant future. So until then, take care, and see you soon, folks.
No bar, no pinball machines, no bowling alleys, just pool. Nothing else.